When you're working with whole numbers, such as 3, 5, 50, or even 5 million, you're using what Swift calls an integer, or int for short. If you're curious, it comes from a Latin word integer, meaning whole. Now, making a new int is much like making a new string. You use let or var for constant or variable, give it a name, use equals, and then give it an initial value. For example, this code here makes a new constant called score, give it a default value of 10. Now, integers in Swift range to huge numbers, past billions, past trillions, past quadrillions, into quintillions, both positive and negative. But past a certain point, they're rather hard to read. For example, at a glance, what number is this? Now, if I had a pen and I was writing it down on paper, I would use commas as a thousand separator. After every 3 zeros, add a comma, so you can read it more easily. In Swift, we have something very similar. Rather than commas, we use underscores to break up long numbers. So here, we could write 100 underscore 000 underscore 000, just to make it easier for humans to read. Swift doesn't care. Swift actually ignores the underscores, so you can have them or not have them, it's just down to you. In fact, you can do what you want with them. You could even say something to humans would be nonsense. For example, we have 1 underscore 00, 2 underscores, more underscores, and da-da-da-da. It doesn't matter. Swift completely ignores them. The end result is the same. Really big constant ends up being 100 million. Of course, you can also create integers from standard arithmetic operators you learned at school. Things like plus for addition, minus for subtraction, star for multiplication, and slash for division. For example, I have here my playground, score 10 constant. I could say let lower score be equal to score minus 2. Or let higher score be equal to score plus 10. Let double score equals score times 2. Could do let squared score equals score times score. Or even let halved score equals score divided by 2. When I press play, these will appear on the right hand side over here. Now, rather than making new constants every single time, Swift has some special operators built in that are just a variable integer, somehow plus minus your choice, but then assigns the result back to the original variable. For example, we could say I want to have a new variable called counter with a value of 10 by default. I could say add 5 to it by writing counter equals counter plus 5. Now, rather than writing counter equals counter plus 5, you can use a shorthand operator plus equals, which adds a number directly to a variable. I could say counter plus equals 5. And when I print counter now, it'll print out 15 because it's modified the original value. We call these compound assignment operators, and they come in other kinds of forms too. We could have said counter star equals 2, counter minus equals 10, and counter divide equals 2. And press play on that, and it'll run through 30, 20, and then 10. Now, before we're done with integers, I want to mention one last thing. Like strings, integers have some useful functionality baked right into them. For example, you can call is multiple of to find out if one integer is a multiple of another integer. So we could ask whether a number like 120 is a multiple of 3 like this. Let number equals 120. Print number dot is multiple of 3. I press play and it'll come back as true. Now I'm calling is multiple of on a constant, but you can actually use a number directly if you want to. Could have said print 120 dot is multiple of 3 like that, and the result will still be true.